Let's talk about mastering the art of scaling your online business from 6 to 8 figures with ease, but with work. Welcome to the podcast, Manifesting Big Money Fast. My name is Janine Hurd. I am so excited that you found this podcast or that you're tuning in to another episode. This podcast is all about manifestation, big money, energetics, spirituality, how it's all connected, and most importantly, how you can increase your bank account right now. So let's dive in today's episode. Welcome back, money lovers, to another super powerful podcast episode of your all-time favorite podcast. I am Janine Hurd, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. What we're talking about today truly has formed my life. And back in the day, when I started my coaching business, I thought it is the wildest of the wildest of the wildest things that I can have clients completely online. To be honest, I was in investment banking and all I wanted to do was I just want to travel the world and work from anywhere. Really, my goal was not to have anything automated, to work less hours. Like, I was willing to do the work. I was willing to do whatever it takes. And most importantly, this was not so much the beginning phase about also making big money. It was really about my personal freedom. And the next part, most likely, I lived in Germany and the winters were cold and I didn't want to be in Germany for the winter. And every November-ish, I thought, oh my gosh, if I just could leave and escape now and come back in April, oh my gosh, this would be my dream life. Little did I know that this is not even close to be my dream life. But there are always different versions of freedom, and there's always another version of freedom available. And in this podcast episode, I'm really taking you through those different versions of freedom which exist once you have an online business and once you're ready to scale. So this was me in the beginning, coaching like life 101 simply online. This evolved into having group programs online, but still completely live. The next evolution was I started pre-recording some modules because no matter if it was in the one-on-one coaching spaces or the group live coaching spaces, people always had the same question. And I thought, I'm kind of tired of answering the same thing over and over again. Let me just create a foundational blueprint to my work so that before people start talking to me in my live calls, they already receive a basic knowledge. This is then when I started creating kind of like a hybrid version of on digital online courses, but always with a live coaching component. The next part I've learned, and a lot of what I'm sharing with you was because I've learned this from other people, other coaches that told me this is how you should set up an online business. And I simply didn't know anything about an online coaching business at all. So, of course, I trusted without actually always asking myself, is this truly how I desire to live? And I think that is it's okay in the beginning, but the longer you are in business, the more you have to find your very own unique way. And if you've been in the unique program with me, you know how I do this, how I utilize ChatGPT really to build a business and life on my own personal alignment based on astrology, human design, numerology, and I use AI as a tool. So the unique program is really the foundation for all of my wild success I've created. So how this evolved was, in order to make more money, I simply learned just increase your prices. So I always did this, which led to a point where the lowest entry level product with me was 15K, 35K, 50, 60, 100, 250,000, 500,000 for my one-on-one coaching for a full year. And that worked. And obviously people bought. However, selling high ticket comes with a great tag of responsibility. Everything has pros and cons. And let me dive into this because I see a pattern in the community and I feel no one talks about this. People say, I'm like, oh my gosh, just do high ticket and you are rich, quick and easy because you just need one person that pays you 35K. Sure. However, contemplate about yourself. It's like also you would go to Porsche and you just give them 100,000, but it comes with something in exchange, which is a great Porsche. So for a coaching, if you spend this money of high price, you expect something in return. I'm repeating this. If you're in the Cash Magnetism program, this is a money foundation program. You know what I'm talking about, that money is a freaking value exchange. Yes, you can charge any freaking price point, but what's the value you exchange? So in my world, people received insane results. Literally, like I have so many testimonials of people having 20, 50, 100K weeks, like entering my world. They made 10K a month after 9 months, made 1.3 million. Like I have a lot of wild testimonials, but what people don't see is the responsibility that came with that. When I charged high ticket, my ethical standard was that people also achieve high results. And in order, it is like you come in as a diamond, and in order for a diamond to be truly shiny, it needs a lot of pressure. So people in my spaces received a lot of pressure, meaning a lot of close proximity, weekly calls, sometimes even 2 calls a week, live calls with me, where they could ask their questions, where we would go through their business module, and so many other things. We had Facebook groups. We had daily check-ins. I was checking literally every single post of those customers in my world and giving feedback. What people received was insane, the support. And let me tell you, it was so cool because I've learned so much about what's possible in a short period of time, financially, business-wise, not just for myself, but also for my clients. And I loved this for the first 3 years in my business. I thought it was very cool. It was very amazing. Basically, the work I did was only mentoring work and no coaching work. And there came a point about starting to evolve after 3 years where I'm I kind of feel trapped. I built this prison for myself because yes, people love to spend big money with me. And I personally feel responsible also, obviously, to give big times. And I felt if you are a coach and you have those close proximity spaces, you know what I mean. I mentally felt I want something less. I want to be less responsible for the results of my clients. And that started for me to create more online programs without any proximity to me. You just buy a program. But still what happened was in this transformation, I was still recording so many live calls. I was still giving every month a live coaching call, but now more to a group and then selling the recording afterwards. Because there was still this belief in me from 6 to 7 figures and 7 to 8 figures that people needed live access from me. They have to talk to me in order to have great results. And back then my goal was, and I thought that was already a complete next level of freedom, let me create multi-millions with 1 live call a week, which then changed to 1 live call a month. And this worked, was still bringing in multi-6 figures every month. Everything worked out, but I still felt energetically drained from the inside of I'm doing so much. I I felt like I was on the path, but I haven't reached my goal where I'm like, yep, that's it. That's it. That's exactly cool for the moment. And the universe was also clearly helping me birthing something new in the last years, because every time I did a step from close proximity and high prices towards low mid-ticket prices, selling anything below 10K basically in my world, it felt easier, but still not as easy as it felt in the beginning when I started this business. So I'm like, okay, I just keep continuing, even though I don't really know where I'm going towards. And I've asked the universe for guidance to send me inspiring people which are making much more money in the online space. And as always, the universe delivered. However, I received access to people which are doing only group programs at low and mid-ticket prices, meaning from a couple $100 to a couple $1,000, but having basically live calls every week and still having close proximity coaching all the time. And I saw this business module over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, this is freaking exhausting. Like, I love it, but also there's still this part that feels exhausting. So for me, I really started this business because I wanted to have more freedom, but I also wanted to have more joy, more fun. And I'm like, if this is how online businesses are being done, online coaching businesses, I'm not even sure if I want to continue. This is not what I truly desire. However, I remembered I just can ask for everything I want and it has to show up. And that's what I did. And I'm like, universe, show me something completely different. I want this, everything on my personal list that was important. And I received a business module and I'm like, this is too, like, I received to work more with like funnels and automations in my business. And I'm like, this is so masculine. This is only like the scammy internet dudes are doing. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. I'm like, it's really not my vibe. So whatever happens in life, if something's for us, but we don't take it, the universe pushes us, right? So this is also the cool part. If you miss an impulse, but it's truly meant to be for you, it comes back. It just gets louder and more uncomfortable. This is how sickness is being created. So I could have had this lesson, super easy, fun, just accept it, start implementing and create my Janine female version from that, but I didn't. So the universe did this differently. Since last year, February of 23, my husband and I are full-time luxury world travelers, meaning we are jet setting around the world, and that comes with a price tag. And the price tag is that we are constantly in different time zones. So first of all, it makes it very hard to plan any live calls because we do not have a plan. We just follow our impulse. We go somewhere. We only book one-way tickets. If we like it, we stay. If we don't, we continue. But I never know where I am basically the next week. So I'm like, how am I going to communicate this? And things, we had some really technical issues when it comes to time zones that we forgot to update the time zones and people were early or late for the calls because there was, simply a miscommunication in the time zones. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't work anymore because it's not my quality standard that I tell people, hey, we're having a live call and then I'm not there. So the universe made this like very clear that live calls, first of all, I had my goal now of how can I bring in 7-8 figures every year without any live calls unless I feel like doing it. And this is really what I've created by now. I do not have any live calls anymore. The only thing in my calendar is my spa Friday. Every Friday, I'm at the spa for a couple of hours. These are the only appointments in my calendar. I truly love it. I wake up whenever I want. I have my morning routine of breath work and doing some yoga, but it's not connected to like a certain time. I'm not getting up at 5 or 6 anymore. I just do my thing. I'm outside, whatever I feel like I'm doing. And this has been working out so well for me. And part of this is really happening because I changed my business model. And now there's obviously the business strategic part to that. And we can talk about that in another episode if that's of interest to you. But really coming from this energetic approach to lean in more to having money. And this is so interesting since I started talking that many of you are rich broke. You bring in more money if you check over the years, but you keep spending it because you don't know how to have money. You don't know how to hold it. You don't know how to keep it. And you normalize this belief that at the end of the month, your bank account is less than in the beginning of the month. You normalize that money comes in and money goes. And when it goes, it's gone. And this is exactly what I've changed energetically so much for myself, for my business, that every week, every month, it just gets more and more and more and more and more, and funnels and automations, and really leaning into that, creating high quality products in which people have insane results without direct access to me has been the biggest wealth multiplier. I wish I would have started earlier. So wherever you are in your journey, if it's in the beginning, if you feel like, hey, I'm actually ready to change my business model from like high price ticket to low and mid-size, from like not just serving a couple people, but more people at a lower price point, less responsibility, less lifetime access, like really having an empty calendar and not being available for other people. This has been a big game changer. If this is something you want to learn, I highly recommend you Wealthier for Longer. We're starting with the energetics first before we afterwards, not in this program, it's going to be a separate program. Really will dive into automations, funnels, where to start, because it is actually not where you start with the automations, but with your offer suite, because you only can automate things if, like I only can tell you go from A to B to C if I know what B and C, etc. is. Makes sense, right? It's like you're going on a multi-city trip when you book this. You know how there are like one-way tickets, round-trip tickets, and then there's like multi-city something, multi-trip. And that means you can put in different stops. But see, this is the same like a funnel. Like to automate your business, we have to know what A, B, C, D is, where you want to send people. So we're actually not starting when we're talking about this with automations, but with your offers. So if this is of high interest of you, you are going to love the work that is coming in the next month. It's highly strategic. It's very hands down. I love business. I love strategy. For me, it always has to be easy to implement fast, and it has to bring fast results. And this is exactly what we're going to do. I love you. I can't wait to see you, especially in Wealthier for Longer. If this is something you truly desire to learn, to master, to have, to hold, to keep more money. And the same is true for clients. You got to learn how to have more clients, how to hold more clients, how to keep more clients. Also, when you have a lot of people that just do like single purchases with you, but are not recurring customers and are not coming back, we have to check energetically where is this coming from. And then we're checking the business side, but always this combination of energetics and highly strategic work is a game changer. I love you. You've got this. You can definitely build a business easily from 6 to 8 figures. It just takes different skills. It's becoming highly strategic. It's fun. It's joyful. And if you're willing to learn new things and put in the work, you're building now something that can even scale then to 9 figures without you doing more. And this always has been lately my biggest motivator. How can I receive more without doing more? And the beauty is, the moment we have an online business, this is possible. I love you. You've got this. I truly hope you are creating the freedom you desire. Maybe that's with live calls. Maybe that is with an empty calendar like I do. But always ask yourself, what's your true next level freedom you want to experience right now? And what you're currently doing, is this leading towards it? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast Manifesting Big Money Fast. I've got 3 very important announcements for you. First, if you like what you're listening, make sure you leave some gratitude, leave a review, share the podcast. Second, if you love what you're listening to and you want more of that, there is a VIP version available. That means you will have access to 3 podcast episodes every single week. Simply check out the store, courses.richandhappiness.com, or the link in the show notes. And lastly, there are always monthly money activations happening around the new moon and full moon. If that is something you're interested, check out the store for the next money activation. I love you and I can't wait to see your beautiful face soon again.